Hello, you're listening to Otaku Spirit Animecast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined here with Chris.
Yo.
Today's episode is the summer 2021 anime season preview. It's time to already look into the next season. We're kind of wrapping things up. I got my first review recorded, so we're already finishing up the spring season. Did you finish up How Not to Summon a Demon Lord?
I actually think I did. Yes.
It was only like 10 episodes, so
that's right.
it was the first one to end. And I think Vivi's close to ending too. There's like 3 shows ending next week, but like I said before, it's like this really crappy thing where some stuff was like started really early, and then like some stuff's gonna stop really early. So it's gonna be like this big weird thing that makes it difficult to set up our reviews because some stuff has been done for like 2 weeks when you come up to the reviews, but it's just the name of the game.
Yeah, that one was like, if I remember right, I was watching it and I was like, that's a pretty interesting kind of sum up of that particular arc, and I was like, wait, is that the end of the show? Wait.
But yeah, I don't know. There's like a few like really huge shows this season, but next season it's like there's a few things in next season that are really exciting, and I know that a lot of people are more excited about fall because it's got all the major, you know, shonen-esque type shows, or yeah, shonen-esque type shows. But yeah, it's funny because the next season, this preview won't be that, you know, long to go through just because there's like only 24 new shows. There's a lot of returning shows, and I think that's probably an exciting thing for a lot of people. But yeah, not too many new shows this season. I think that's really because usually a lot of that new big stuff kind of hits in spring or the fall season. But I still think it's a pretty exciting season just because there's a lot of shows that people are real excited for that are returning shows. So it makes it fun. I'm excited.
I kind of glanced through it. I didn't read any of the synopsises, but one or two did catch my eye. So
yeah, the one of the ones that we were talking about you're going to be excited for is the first one that we'll get into. But yeah, for those that are not aware, that are new to this whole thing, what we basically do is we go through all the shows that are new for the coming season, and then we'll go through all the shows that are continuations, that are like shows that are returning back for second seasons or spin-offs. And then we go into the shorts series that are not full-length series. We'll talk about what the show is called, what the Japanese title is, what the possible English title will be, what the studio is, what it's from, genres that you can look forward to, and possibly people that are working on the project that might be of interest to people, things that they've worked on before that kind of gives some kind of credit to their capabilities as doing, you know, creators. But of course, everything that we talk about is subject to change. If there is, you know, a change in studio, which has happened before, change in title, like I said, the English title sometimes changes a lot. So, and then I will fumble over pronunciations. I will fumble over plots, and people will make fun of me. But it's all for the funds. So it is what it is. I'm used to it by now. People making fun of my pronunciations and stuff. So
yeah, we get things bumped off of the list and put into next seasons and all that stuff all the time. So
yeah, that happens a lot. I'm glad you brought that up. Sometimes there's new shows. Sometimes they disappear. Yeah, it's a crazy, especially the last year or so. It's been pretty crazy with that stuff. But
shoot, that's half the reason why we do it as late as we do, because we used to do it like halfway through the season. Now we do it almost towards the end when things start showing, falling off the list of the current season.
Yeah, usually about 2 weeks or so. So yeah, so without further ado, let's jump into the first one. We have the detective is. I'm already messing up. See, we're getting things established. I can't even say English. the detective.
It's because we're doing this so early because Nintendo Direct is going. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Andrew's half asleep right now.
The detective is already dead. Or Tentai wa Mao Shinderu. The story follows Kimihiko Kimizuka, a young man who 4 years ago became an assistant of a mysterious detective known as Seista. Seista? I don't know if they're doing English or not, but on a hijacked airplane. Together, Kimihiko and Seista went on a mind-boggling, globe-trotting adventures while combating a secret organization. But all of that came to an end when they were separated by Seista's death. In the present day, Kimihiko tries to return to an ordinary, boring life as a high school student, but things are never that simple, even though the detective is already dead. Yeah. Studio is ENGI, sources light novel. The genres are mystery, comedy, romance, and drama. And this one, the series composition is being done by Hitomi Mino, who has done Snow White with Red Hair, Amanchu, Flying Witch, Noragami, and Higehiro the last season. So, yeah, I think, like I said before, this is one that we talked about in one of our discussional podcasts. I quickly kind of jumped to it just because the PV looked fantastic, and I kind of told Chris that he needed to check it out, even though he didn't like the synopsis too much, because we obviously have Cute Girl, and she dies, like, probably in the first episode. So... yeah, I'm guessing she's probably going to become a ghost that'll follow him around. Either her death's faked because she's trying to either let him go back to normal life, and so she faked her death in order for him to leave, or she's a ghost. One of the two. I think one of the sites listed as being supernatural, so I'm assuming that probably is the case. She's a ghost. Spoilers.
Yeah, if I remember right, I was getting crazy over this because of the character art and the daggum PV
awesome animations and the I think it shows one of the PV shows the airport scene or the airplane scene, and she's like kicking total butt,
and it looks really dark. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, my only fear is we go like the Seraph the End route, where suddenly we have a stupid school session, and then it just focuses too much on school and like some harem shenanigans or something. But
we got idols.
Yeah, got pop idols. She's probably a killer. No, she's probably a love interest. Somehow, like, all these famous people are going to his school, including a pop idol. That's how it goes, so. Yep, the detective is already dead. Definitely looking forward to that one. Or Tentai wa Mao Shinderu. Mo. I think it's Mo. I'm saying Mao, like a demon. Tentai wa Mo Shinderu. So, look forward to that. All right, moving on, we have how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom, or Jinjutsu Shugi Yusha no Okoku Saikinki. This one, the synopsis is, "Oh, hero," with the cliched line, Kazuya Soma found himself summoned to another world, and his adventure did not begin. After he presented his plan to strengthen the country's economy and military, the king sees the throne to him, and Soma finds himself saddled with ruling the nation. What's more, he betrothed to the king's daughter now. In order to get the country, you're distracting me by grabbing pencil and paper. How can you make it as noisy as possible? Sliding it over to you. What is it? Did I miss a cute character in the PV? You're already writing down this? Or because you heard isekai, you're writing it down?
No, isekai building a kingdom is absolutely...
not cute, cool chick that fights dudes in an airplane. It's the isekai build nation. Writing it down. Anyways, yeah, so he's ruling the nation. He's been betrothed to the daughter. In order to get the country back on its feet, Soma calls the wise, the talented, and the gifted to his side. 5 people gathered before the newly crowned Soma. Just what are the many talents and abilities they possess? What path will it overlook? I hate the one they end things with questions. Mm-hmm. It's like you're... Anyways, the studio's JC staff. The source is a light novel. The genres are action, adventure, fantasy, and romance. And the director on this one is Takashi Watanabe, who did Kino's Journey, the movie, Slayers, Sakana no Shana, Heavy Object, and Aria, the Scarlet Animal. So,
yeah, when I was going through this, of course, like I said last night, I was scanning through this, and this is one that really definitely caught my eye. I love the concept, the building a kingdom, but the director actually gave me even more pause, mostly on the fact of this is somebody who naturally has an ability to kind of rope you in. As silly as it sounds, one of the things about Heavy Object, even though it was very wordy, it was constantly it had constant things going on that kept you kind of engaged, even though you were pretty much reading a bunch of text. So I have a lot of hope for this. Kino's Journey is absolutely phenomenally done as far as director work. And so I do think that this can be really excellently done.
Yeah. Specifically the movie for Kino's Journey, so which I don't think we've seen, but I do agree with you on the idea of the heavy object, because I mean you're looking at a light novel where it's probably very wordy in the light novel, and that's the geekdom behind it is probably, the technology otaku that just loved eating up that technology stuff, and then to have it animated, it's like, how do you take all that crazy stuff they love and make it into an animation that most people would actually enjoy? So hats off to him. Plus Aria the Scarlet Ammo, that series was good, even though I had my issues with the sequel series. So, and Shakana no Shana, one of my favorite series of all time. So, but that's partly because of Ryukijimiya. So good job directing and getting Ryukijimiya, maybe, unless the producers pulled that off. So, yeah, how a realist hero rebuilt the Kingo. I'm looking forward to it. Just mainly, I do agree the idea of like that's what we got enveloped in slime for, was that aspect of not just isekai with overpowers, but isekai and building a nation. And it doesn't really mention anything about him having any abilities. So I don't know if that's something you may see in the trailer that I missed, but it doesn't seem like he's got some overpowered ability. He's using his smarts to fix the nation, which is a nice little different take on, usually they have some kind of OP ability. So, yep. Cool stuff. Character designs are pretty cool too. So, interesting. All right, moving on. Let's get a little moe. You want some moe action? We've had a girl dying. We have isekai, and we can get some moe in here, I guess.
Please.
Kanojo, Kanojo. Naoya, Naoya, Mukai.
I think you're going way too moe here, Andrew. Come back a little bit.
Yeah. Has loved Saki since grade school. And when she finally attempts accept his feelings, she calls him Saki or something? I was thinking it was going to be like some app or some group. Accepts his feelings, he's at his happiest. But one day, a cute girl named Nagisa Minase confesses to him. Not wishing to choose only one over another, Naoya chooses to go out with both of them.
Dork.
Okay, so Saki is the girl. Okay.
No, Saki is him. Oh no, yeah, it is.
He is now Naoya Mukai.
There is a Saki. Okay, I gotcha.
Anyways, he chooses to go out with both of them. What will be of this love triangle that challenges morality itself? We've already experienced that story. It didn't end very well. She got on a boat with a part of him.
She got him in a boat.
Yeah, that didn't end well. I wonder if this will go that route.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Hopefully not. Let's go with hijinks ensue.
If he's getting with these two girls behind their backs, he deserves it, and that's why the other one was such a great story. Anyways, studio is Tezuka Productions, sources of manga, genres comedy, romance, slice of life. It doesn't have psychological in there, so I'm guessing not. But I don't think the other one did either. Director is Satoshi Kuwahara, who did Quintessential Quintuplets, How Not to Summon Demon Lord Omega. Script and series composition by Kiichiro Oochi, who did Quintessential Quintuplets, Hinamatsuri, the Demon Girl Next Door, and the creator that created this series is Hiroyuki, who did Aho Girl and comic artist and his assistants. So, a little bit of idea there, pedigree there. I don't know. Those two had their moments, even though I didn't finish comic artist. Aho Girl had its moments, even though I hated what a jerk that guy was. Which makes me scared of this. I hated the main character in Aho Girl, so that makes me very afraid of this particular one based on the premise of it. So.
Oh, that makes me even more concerned.
He was like violently mean, but she was an idiot, but he was violently mean. I don't know. Again, that scares me. The characters are cute. I'm sure.
And he's gonna. All I'm thinking of is he's gonna turn one of these into a complete Aho Girl as well.
That's true.
I mean, even the art already looks like one of them. So,
which one do you think's the super dits? The blue hair one?
Nah. Well, hopefully it's one of the other ones and not the redhead girl, but we'll see.
I think okay, pigtail blonde has to be tsundere. Has to be. Sometimes the redhead is, but you have blonde pigtails, it's gotta be tsundere. There's Kudere, the one that's Ria Takahashi. Yeah, this has got a big list of casts. Riga Takahashi, Azuma Waki, Ayane Sakura, Ayana Takae Tatsu. So you got some good names there. I mean, Riga Takahashi alone is probably going to make a lot of people excited. So yeah, pretty exciting. It's probably our harem show of the season. I don't think there's really any other big ones. So look forward to that.
But then again, it could go down the route of just traditional harem where they're just kind of bickering at each other, not necessarily going full on.
Yeah, that's my questions. I don't really. It's way too rare when they actually pursue each other. So I don't know if this is going to be like they're dating. He's dating each one of these, and they're actually getting romantic. It's just really them, hijinks at school or something. But I don't know. Lately, there's been a lot of shows that are like, hey, let's finally not be completely, cooties about the main characters. So yeah, Kanojo, Mo Kanojo, definitely check that out if you're looking for a moe cutesy harem show. Next one we have is the case study of Vanitas. Vanitas no Carte is the Japanese title. And this one's kind of got an interesting story behind it, so I'm kind of interested to talk about this one. But essentially, this one's already been slated to have 2 cores, and the other core is separate, so I'm guessing they're going to have a split core. So we're going to have this season's going to have this core, and then possibly a skip season until they have another core. But the synopsis is rumor revolving around the Book of Vanitas, a clockwork grimoire of dubious reputation, draw Noe, a young vampire in search of his friend's salvation to Paris. Why is it's like an extremely short trailer? I already have to set the loop on it. What awaits him in the City of Flowers, however, is not long hours treading the pavement or rifling through dusty bookshops in search of the tome. Instead, his quarry comes to him in the arms of a man claiming to be a vampire doctor, thrust into a conflict that threatens the peace between humans and vampire. Will Noe cast in his lot with the curious and slightly unbalanced Vanitas and his quest to save vampire kind? That's a really confusing synopsis. But anyways, studio is Bones. Sources of manga. Genres are drama, mystery, supernatural. And the interesting thing behind this one is we have the director is Tomoyuki Itamura, who did the Monogatari series, which is pretty crazy. The series composition is Hitomi Muino, who of course again did Snow White with Red Hair, A Manchu Flying Witch. This girl is all over the place, so I hope that I think she's doing like 4 shows this season. So big credits to her for doing that much stuff. Of course, we've had a lot of seasons where she does that, so apparently she's either really good at doing her job or she's good at doing a lot of stuff and is underpaid, which is probably the case. And the creator, which is also interesting, is Jun Mochizuki, who did Pandora Hearts. So something we I think we watched a while back, but yeah. Interesting. Like I said, already slated to have two seasons, which is kind of a rare thing. I know we had one this season, which was 86, but it's always interesting whenever we have them slate to have 2 seasons beforehand. But probably because they know it's going to be a lot of work to adapt the arc they're doing, so they want to split court, which is good. Like we said before, we don't want them to overwork it. I like the style of it. Very, I don't know, would it be Victorian?
Yeah.
I've stated before, I'm not a huge fan of vampire stories, but I mean, if it's a good story, I always jump in there. So, but yeah, like I said, the trailer is incredibly short, so we don't really have an idea of anything. I mean, the PV, the animation and everything looks good, and like I said, the styling and everything is pulling it off. But
so he's a vampire hunting vampire hunters, or he's a vampire hunter waiting for vampires to come to him.
He is a young vampire in search of his friend's salvation.
Okay.
And then when he goes to look for something, that thing that he's looking for comes to see him and is carried in the arms of a vampire. So he has to choose. So I'm guessing, it's probably going to be one of those things where, why are you working against us? You're one of us kind of things. Maybe. That's my assumption. Like I said, the synopsis seems kind of weird. But that should be me being unable to read things because I'm dumb. But that is the case study of Vanitas. Or Vanitas? I don't know. One of the twos. Exciting. Our next one, definitely exciting. We have, how do you think this is pronounced? Jahy? Jahy? Jahy?
Possibly. He is
H
not
and
really...
Y is not really a Japanese thing, so that's why I say that. It could be Jai. We don't have a synopsis to work with, or a PV to work with. Usually when I have a really weird thing like this, where I don't know how Japanese is going to actually, Japan's going to actually pronounce it, I usually look at the PV, and we don't have PV. I don't know why we don't have PVs for this yet. I figured this is going to be one of the more exciting ones, at least for all the people that like cute moe stuff, but I'm excited for it. But yeah, I'm gonna assume Jahy, but it's Jahy. Jahy-sama won't be discouraged. I've seen it translated as Jahy will not be defeated, but it's Jahy-sama wa Kuji Kinai. This one is the Great Jahi, the Dark Realm's second in command, cuts a frightening figure, feared and revered by all. But when a run-in with a magical girl results in the destruction of the precious mana crystal, the Dark Realm falls, transporting the newly puny and powerless Jahy to the human world. Unfortunately, plotting the revival of the Dark Realm from a cramped, crumbling one-room apartment is no easy feat when you have to have rent to pay and a job to keep. This one is being done by Studio Silverlink. The sources of manga, the genres are comedy, ecchi, slice of life, supernatural. And the series composition is being done by Michiko Yokote, who has done a ton of stuff, including Blood Plus, Genshiken, Gintama, Harengu, Masamune Kun's Revenge, Prison School, and Shirobako, which definitely looks like they're good with comedy writing, of course. We loved Harengu. We talked about that a lot. Prison School was pretty zany. Shirobako had a good sense of comedy. And, of course, Gintama is probably pretty huge. So, yeah.
Yeah, this character has been around the anime community for years. She is very beloved all around. So I can't wait to actually see the story that's involved with her.
Yeah, we've enjoyed a lot of those kinds of stories where it's got the Demon Lord type of character in normal life. Like we watched the was it Yosabu or whatever it was called, the one where the Demon Lord's working at that store with the hero, and they kind of have that sense of there was this war before between the demons and humans, and now they're just working at a convenience store together. Devil's a part-timer, obviously. All that kind of stuff is what a lot of people bring up, so I definitely look forward to it. She's definitely cute. I do like that aspect of it. Technically, you can see like what her normal form is, and it's, slender and tall and busty, but then there's this kind of lolly form that she's kind of sapped into, so it's a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to it. The humiliation of the Great Jahi is pretty much what it's going to be. But again, Jahy-sama won't be discouraged. Looking forward to that one. This is the one that I don't know if we even talked about this. I recognize it, but I'm completely kind of caught off guard by it when I was looking into the next season. So it might just be one of those things where my brain sucks and I've forgotten things. But basically, a lull in the second season is what I'm going to call it. But this is called Aquatope of White Sand. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I'm pronouncing it like Japanese. Or Shiroi Suna no Aquatope. And this one is, the anime takes place in Gama Gama Aquarium, a small aquarium in Okinawa. An hour's bus ride from Naha. Kukuru, sorry. Kukuri. Kukuru Misakino is a 18-year-old high school student who works there, and she is known about the secret of the aquarium. Sometimes you can see mysterious things. One day, Kukuru meets Fuka, standing in front of the water tank with flowing hair and a tear rolling down her cheek. Fuka has given up on her dream of becoming an idol, and she runs away. She has run away from Tokyo to Okinawa, wanting to find a place to belong. Fuka earnestly asks to work at the aquarium. The anime follows Kukuru and Fuka as they deal with issues and of the secret of the aquarium and a looming crisis of its possible closure. Of course, it's got to close. It's a PA Works title. It has to have that closing.
They got to save it.
Yeah. Again, the studio is PA Works. The source is an original. PA Works does a lot of original. They kind of bounce back and forth a lot. The genres are comedy, drama, mystery, slice of life, and supernatural. The director is Toshiya Shinohara, who did Lull in the Sea, Inuyasha movies, and Lupin the Third, a couple of the Lupin the Third movies. The writer is Yuko Kakihara, who did Tsukigakure and Digimon Venture Try, and Chiaya did some of the script work for that. But actually created Tsukigakure, or the writing for it, or did the writing for it, because that was an original as well. And like I said, Digimon Try and Chiafaru did script work and stuff for those. So obviously we loved Tsukigakure, so that definitely makes that very exciting for me personally, other than the fact that one, it's original and one, it's PA work. So I'm pretty dang excited for this one. Like I've had my issues with PA works. Like usually the stuff that they adapt is pretty meh in my opinion. But whenever they do original works, it's like sometimes it's like really amazing. Sometimes it's like kind of middle of the road kind of stuff. So with that kind of writing, like I said, behind it and directing behind it, I am really excited. It's like Lull in the Sea was fantastic. I think it was directed phenomenally, and then to have a really awesome writer behind it, I'm real excited. Can you tell I'm excited?
It looks gorgeous. I can see a lot of the Lull in the Sea stuff in there. It's so obvious that it's the same team at least.
Am I saying Aquatope right? Aquatope?
I don't know.
What is an Aquatope? I don't know what an Aquatope is. Obviously, it's not like a translation thing. Aquatope's a thing. Is it a thing? I thought it was. I'm looking up Aquatope and I'm finding. I thought it was an actual word, like like it's a thing in an aquarium.
I'm trying to think of another word where I've heard taupe in there before.
Yeah, I thought like I said, I thought Aquatope was like a thing in an aquarium, so I'm assuming that apparently Aquatope is just the title. Like it is this show. So thank you. I'm not just mispronouncing something. I don't know. Maybe it is something and I'm just not finding it in Google. Maybe Google doesn't know what Aquatope is. But yeah, that's Aquatope of White Sand. Super excited for it. It's PA Works. It looks fantastic. Like I said, great director behind it, great writer behind it. If you have not watched Tsukigakure, definitely go watch that. It's a really fantastic series. So, yeah.
Because it seems like taupe should be person, so it should be water person or something like that. I don't know.
You're still stuck.
Yes, I am.
I presented a question and Chris did not have the answer. He is searching database. We can't answer all questions. We'll just wait till the comments hit it.
Yeah, we'll get plenty of answers later.
All right, looking forward, we have Remake Our Life. This one is Bokutachi no Remake. This one is Hashiba Kyoya is a 28-year-old gamer or game developer. With his company going bankrupt and him losing his job, he returns to his home. Looking at the success of creators of his age, he finds himself regretting his life decisions, as we all do, as he laid distressed on his bed. But when he opens his eyes, he finds that he traveled 10 years back into the time before he entered college. Will he finally make things right? This is a story about a failed person who is given a second opportunity to follow his dreams. I disagree with that last part, but I joked about the fact that we've all had the feeling of like, hey man, somebody else pulled something off that we didn't, but no point in your life is a failure. Everything is an opportunity. So just going to tell that to the people out there that are like, if I can't go back in time, life sucks. No, just readjust your path. The studio is Phil. The source is light novel. Genres are comedy and sci-fi. The director is Tomoki Kobayashi, who did Akame ga Kill, Amagami SS++, 100, Seiden, and Utawaramano. The creator is Nachi Koi, who did the Frodo Gorsaia script. And of course, being that, the publisher is Frontwing. So Front Wing has some point in this. So, yep, cool stuff. I think this is probably one of those series that kind of reminds me of something like, what was the bottom tier character, Tomazaki, where I wonder if it's going to be one of those ones that actually technically has a really solid message in there, or if it's one of those ones where it's just kind of fulfilling a fantasy. Like, okay, everybody would love to jump back 10 years in time, back to school age, cute harem, rebuild his life, do the things that he wanted to do separately or change. But is it going to be possibly one of those things where they realize that they learned something and they were on a good path? They just needed to alter things a little bit. But I don't know. It has the opportunity to be in just a fulfillment of that wish, or something to do, some really cool, solid statements, which I think Risaya technically does that. It kind of balances the two of them, where it has the cute characters and obviously the harem aspect, but then does some cool, interesting stuff and makes comments on certain aspects. So I can see him possibly doing some really cool stuff with it, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's just like Real Life. They did some really cool things with it, and this is very possible that they could do some really neat stuff with that. It's one of those that it is always going to be there in that middle ground of, like Andrew was saying, the whole wish fulfillment versus an actual re-exploration of, did you really do the wrong thing all along? And because you're always going to have those questions, especially when you go further in life and you're looking back at and going, I could have done this, or I could have done that. And we all have those insecurities, and we all will experience them if you haven't yet. So, and nobody will ever be able to tell you that you're the one person who's not going through this, because you're always going to believe you're the only one that's ever had that difficulty.
It's called midlife crisis. Pre-midlife crisis, midlife crisis. Yeah, I think more and more these days, the midlife crisis is happening earlier for people. Just how the world is. Anyways, getting too deep. Remake Our Life. Check that out if that's interesting to you. Definitely has some cute character designs in there as well. So, Peach Boy Riverside. I feel like this one was like something we covered in one of our previews, and it's now finally coming out. Like did it just get delayed a bunch? But anyways, Peach Boy Riverside. This one is what in the world is that name? Saltharine Aldarake, Princess of the Kingdom of Aldarake, dreams of traveling the world, a dangerous dream in a land where monsters roam the countryside as they please, and humans live behind high, strong walls. Then one day they had a sad reminder. I'm joking. But when a chance meeting with traveler Mikoto gives hope to her dream, he shatters it soon after when Mikoto gives hopes to her dream, he shatters it soon after. Anyway, I don't know if that makes any sense. As he reveals himself to be none other than Momotaro.
I was going to say, this looks like they're trying to do Momotaro again.
Yeah. Though horrified by the gore Momotaro leaves behind, Saltharine is convinced more than ever that she needs to learn about the world beyond her walls. The journey out, following the steps of the mysterious, charismatic, terrifying boy she met that day. Studio is Asahi Productions. The source of manga. The genres are adventure and fantasy. The director is Shigeru Ueda, who did Gekidoll. Series composition by Kiichiro Oichi, who did Quintessential Quintuplets, Hinamatsuri, and a lot of titles there. Creator is Shinja Kokyun, who of course did Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. So definitely a different take from Shinja Kokyun, but interesting nonetheless. But also did Komari-san Can't Decline, and I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying. So again, going from a lot of comedy titles that we've experienced adapted to something more violent, I guess. So
I don't know. I'm getting a lot of crazy faces up in there, so it'll be interesting.
Well, it's kind of taking all those crazy moments in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, where suddenly out of nowhere they start going crazy, violent against each other, and just making an entire series out of it. Yeah. So if you're looking for some crazy violence, a little bit of I don't know,
Kind of a
superpower
dark
fantasy.
version of Momotaro, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Beach Boy Riverside. Definitely check that one out. Let's see, Remain. This one is it's RE-MAIN because that's kind of one of those ones that kind of pronounces differently for people, or at least spells out. The anime story centers around. I guess I could bring up the trailer because I'm sure you're excited to see what looks like Volleyball Boys. The anime story centers around Minato, a boy who stopped playing water polo due to a certain incident in the winter of his third middle school year. He picks the sport back up when... it's water polo. Sorry. I'm sorry. Water polo is not volleyball. He picks up the sport back up when he, again, with a new team when he starts high school, but the fledgling team runs into many problems. That sounds like... You could replace water polo with any other sport, and that sounds like the same synopsis as all the other ones. The studio is MAPPA. The source is original. The genres are sports and school. And the director is Kiyoshi Matsuda, who did Kakegururi XX and Kumamiko. And the writer for this one is going to be Masafumi Nishida, who created Tesla Notes and did series composition for Tiger and Bunny. So... that might be of interest to a lot of people, especially those that are really big on Tiger and Bunny. Not that he was a creator of it, but he did the series composition for it, so that can amount for something. But yeah, this is like one of those moments where I have like over here it's like Andrew Mappa original, and then over here it's like Pretty Boys water polo. It's like I can't decide. I'll definitely, of course, giving everything a shot, but yeah. It's going to be a little bit of struggle with the whole water polo guys thing. But we'll see. It could possibly be really awesome. Again, it goes back to the whole aspect of what's the focus, the sport or the drama? And usually the slice of life, human element's the one thing that really draws us in. So, are you excited?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. Let's Remain. Check that out if that sounds interesting to you. Are you ready for the drama of the season? This is going to be the drama of the season, everybody. Here it comes. Excited? And I'll get into why in a minute. This one is called Eata Tin Daity. Deities. I'm again wondering how that's pronounced. Deities. I'm doing the English title. I'm sorry. English title is Eata Tin Deities in the Peaceful Generation, or Heion Sedai no Idaten Tachi. Sorry. Gods appear when humanity was on the verge of destruction due to the work of the demons. Deities called... why can I... See, I cannot for some reason pronounce it when I'm in the mindset of Japanese, and then the moment I'm reading it in English, I read it out normal. Deities called Idaten. I'm sorry. I need help. Fought and sealed away the demons 800 years ago. Nowadays, the Idatens have no fight experience and they live peaceful lives. But now the demons are reviving and the battle between gods, humans, and demons is about to begin. This one's being done by Studio MAPPA. The source is a manga. The genres are action, adventure, fantasy. The series composition being done by Hiroshi Seko, who did Ajin, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, Terror of the Inn, and Vinland Saga, which is pretty huge. The creator is Amahara, who did Interspecies Reviewers. Character designs by Shinja Kulhun again. So, again, the creator of Kobayashi Dragon Maid, which, honestly, not a huge fan of the original character designs of Kobayashi Dragon Maid. I actually like the Kyoto animation versions of them, but it is what it is. But, yeah. Now, granted, it doesn't have ecchi in the genres, so I'm going to assume this is not Interspecies Reviewers. We're not going to go to those levels, but I do wonder. Please, Funimation, don't license this. There is no reason why you should license this. You know who the creator is. Don't license it. Please, we don't want another Interspecies Reviewers situation anyways. But yeah. I don't know. It's like one of those things where interspecies reviewers technically had a lot of really cool concept and lore behind the obvious, overt, pretty much borderline hentai. In some cases, just pretty much hentai. But it had all the knowledge and everything of the fantasy elements behind it that had some thought put into it. So having something where it seems like it's just taking that and just making, oh, let's make it a fantasy world out of it. Not to say that it's in the same world. It's just that's the concept that it can pull off of is, okay, he has knowledge of this stuff. He is solid at doing this stuff. What can they do with it? Seems like this is the case for it. So, yeah. It's got Mappa behind it, which obviously is going to have fantastic. It does have, again, not my favorite character designer, but the designs don't off-put me like the original. It doesn't mean that it looks like Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid manga. It just means it's the same character designer. So, or the same mangaka who's doing the character design. So it looks solid. The PV looks solid. It has a very interesting artistic direction for it, which unique artistic directions are always solid. But yeah,
I'm actually very curious of it. I'm not sure that I'm gonna go very far. It looks very dark, but I do like a lot of the character designs. But that's me.
Yeah.
Me and Andrew do have different tastes.
Yeah. He has bad taste, so obviously he doesn't agree with it. And again, that's Eata Tin Deities in the Peaceful Generation. Check that one out if that sounds interesting to you. And please, Funimation, don't license it.
We're giving you warning now.
Why did I open Mal? I don't want to open Mal. I want to open YouTube. Moving on, we have our next one is Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, or Mukiga Michibiku Isekai Douchu. There's a pig lady. What is distracting me from this? I'm like trying to read stuff and suddenly there's a pig lady. Miss Piggy suddenly is popping up on this YouTube video and I'm trying to figure out why. Why is there Miss Piggy here? What? I can't read it. What the hell's on the screen? Okay, focus, Andrew. Focus to the left where the synopsis is. Have I even read the Japanese? Yeah, I did. Okay. Makoto Misumi was just an ordinary high school student.
Cute lolly can tear stuff up.
Due to certain circumstances his parents were facing, gets summoned to another world to become a quote-unquote hero. The goddess of the other world, however, insults him for his quote-unquote ugly... this gotta be the pig lady. The pig lady just insults him for his ugly face. I know it. It's totally what happened right there. And strips his hero title before casting him off into the wilderness at the edge of the world. As he wanders the wilderness, Makoto encounters dragons, spiders, orcs, dwarves, and other non-human tribes. Because Makoto comes from another world, he is able to unleash unimaginable yes. That's what I'm saying. That's probably where he meets the pig lady, and she says, "You can't be a hero. You're ugly." Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's probably the goddess right there. Oh. So the pig lady is just somebody he meets. Okay, so he meets the goddess who looks like a normal lady. She pretty much kicks him down there, and then he meets the pig lady. Okay, so it wasn't the pig lady. Where was I at? Unleashes. Okay, yeah, he can unleash
a spider lady too.
Unimaginable magical. It looks like a Lamia too. Yeah, there's.
You seen a Lamia?
Why is it always spider lady and Lamia? Well, I'm just assuming because it looks like. Oh man, that might be her dress. It looked like skills. Anyways, focus. But just how will he handle his encounters with various species and survive in his new environment? Join Makoto in this fantasy as he just transforms the world into a better place despite the humans and gods having turned their backs on him. Oh yeah, because she's the spider lady. I thought that was going to be the Lamia. So yeah, studio is C2C. Source is a light novel. Genres adventure, action, comedy, fantasy. The series composition and scripts being done by Kenta Ihara, who did Saga Tanya the Evil, Cautious Hero, and Full Dive. And yeah, the PV looks bonkers. So this could be possibly a really funny show. So I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in that PV. That's for a fact.
Yeah. Craziness. So we'll see. We'll see if that's one of those ones where it pulls off the jokes at the very beginning. After that first volume of adaptation ends, it kind of flops, or if they can keep that up. But it looks like it has at least has a really solid opening to it. Yeah. Again, that's Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Next one we have is Spirit Chronicles, or Seirei Ginsoki. This one is meet Ryo, a callous orphan boy living in the slums. At only 7 years old, he realizes he's actually a reincarnation of Haruto Amakawa, a Japanese university student with a tragic past. While still reeling from this this shocking epiphany, Ryo also comes to learn that he possesses extremely potent magic abilities and uses his powers to solve the kidnapping case of a little girl. His good deed is acknowledged, and he's rewarded by being enrolled into a prestigious academy for noble children? ? By Studio TMS Entertainment and WAO World. The source is a light novel, and the genres are action, drama, fantasy, and romance. So yeah, another isekai. Excited?
Not from the synopsis. The characters look cute.
Yeah, we have what looks like a cat girl. I'm guessing that's a cat girl. The ears are a little bit different than usual cat girls. But yeah, it's got really solid character designs, and they look really polished. I hope it animates well. I've been tricked by really polished character designs in PVs before, and then been extremely disappointed afterwards. But yeah, there's a lot of isekais this season, as usual. So, but as we always check them out, though. We always enjoy isekais. So, if you're looking for people that positively look at isekais, you're kind of the right place. But yeah, we've acknowledged Animal Girls at least, so I'm happy. I'm good with Animal Girls. I think we have the next one we has Animal Girls too, and it's another isekai. So good thing. We need more shows to acknowledge animal ear girls. I think there's a huge drought in it, and it needs to be more of a thing.
This could be true. Yeah.
Yes. I thought you were going to disagree with me. Things were going to be very upsetting in this room really quickly. Spirit Chronicles. Yeah, I agree with you, though. That synopsis is pretty lacking. That's the only thing that really kind of concerns me about it in general, but...
Might be holding their cards.
Yeah, could. True. Moving on, we have Cheat Pharmacist Slow Life. I'm going to move this because you're jumping to it too quickly, Chris. Wait until you hear the whole thing before you start writing down names. Cheat... I'm scaring dog. It's okay, dog. Cheat Pharmacist Slow Life, making a drugstore in another world. Cheat Kusushi no Slow Life Isekai ni Sukuro Drugstore. This one is corporate drone Reiji is transported into a fantasy world where he discovers that he can craft potions at a higher level than his rank should allow. Taking advantage of this, Reiji makes a tidy profit, enough to open his own drugstore. An elf who can't aim a bow, give him some eye drops. A dragon, I hate question marks in the title, synopsis. Basically, people with problems, he's making solutions. Studio EMT Squared, sources light novel, genres comedy and fantasy. But yeah, cute cat girl. I totally thought that was going to be Tama. I had to look up to see who the voice actress was for her because she looked like a Tama character. She's, I forget who it was. She did something that we really enjoyed, though. Risa Matsuda, who, what was it? She was a character that we really liked. Oh, she was in Your Camp as Akari Inuyama. So that works, technically.
Can I write it down now?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was waiting for whatever it was. Unless you said that there was violence and gore, I don't see why I wouldn't love this show. So
just wanted you to just slow down. Don't just go based on the key art, Chris. Yeah, I think the only concerning thing that I have for this is really just no really notable people behind it. The original creator has done a lot of work. Not very many things has been adapted, but that doesn't mean it's not good work. But yeah, that's, like I said, my only concern. But it's not. That doesn't mean that these directors and writers and everything can't do something solid. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that one just based on the premise of it. And like I said, cute cat girl. I must support cute cat girls. But yeah, Excited?
Definitely.
Okay, your only comment so far has been, can I write it down yet? So I just want to make sure that you get your comments in before I jump forward.
Yeah, I seen adorable character. I seen cheat pharmacist in another world, and I was like, well, what am I waiting for?
Oh.
Is Andrew going to randomly tell me that there's mass murder and stuff?
Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is?
Probably not.
You think?
Nah.
Is it gonna be just like she's like attacking something and going fanatically like I gotta kill this monster and being brave, and then he has to make something that makes her brave? Or you think she's really gonna be a yandere character?
Doubt it.
Doubt which?
That it's gonna be anything bad. It's too cutesy to do anything like that.
No, I'm not saying it's bad, like it's going to be violent. I'm just saying, is she going to be the yandere character that Andrew is not going to like because she's going to be loud and obnoxious and want to kill him every
She's probably going to be loud and obnoxious. It just looks like she's going to be loud and obnoxious, but yeah.
But it looks like she's like running towards something, like crying. So I think it's going to be a thing where she's just like, she hates violence, but she's got to kill monsters, and so he's got to make something that makes her brave.
That I'm gonna say probably killing monsters, and it's just badly cut to where it makes it look like she's
got to be yandere character like that. Yeah, I got you. I follow you. I'll have hope that she's not gonna be a loud, obnoxious. It looks like we have a Mao character. She looks kind of cute. It's like a Ventura girl, Moe normal girl. We have a ringlets.
I'm gonna assume that's the elf.
We have a ringlets. Yeah, she looks like an elf. Even though
blonde character's fantasy, it's probably an elf.
Yeah.
Even if we don't see the ears, more than likely it's an elf.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. There's another one I'm looking forward to. And it's weird because it's based on art style that I wasn't really too happy with before. The Duke of Death and his maid, or Shinigami Bokchan to Kuro Maid. Is that Bokchan? 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 Anyways, in a large mansion lives a boy, an aristocrat, who was cursed by the witch to let everything he touches die. With him is his maid Alice, who's besides serving him, likes to tease him. The boy, here comes the girl teasing boy genre. I know it's gonna be a thing. It's getting more popular every season. We got them. I'm fine with it. The boy who is interested in her doesn't mind the teasing. But not being able to touch her is painful. If they are unable to hold hands, how will their love ever bloom? Studio is JC Staff. The source, it'll bloom because Japanese anime boys don't like to touch girls anyways, and there's plenty of romances where boys never touch girls, so it's okay. It fits right in with anime. The source is a manga. Studio is JC Staff. The genre is comedy and romance. The director is Yoshiki Yamakawa, who did be the beginning, Hatsukoi Limited, and Little Busters. And yes, this is kind of the one that's, for those who don't know, there's a series called High School Girl, or High Score Girl. I did it again. We did that in one of our podcasts, and we totally made it the title. There's an anime series called High Score Girl. It's absolutely fantastic, and everybody should go watch it. It's like a really cute love blossoming, young love blossoming thing, and it totally fits into the 90s gaming era of like arcades and fighting games and console gaming blossoming. And so if you're that age group, you're probably going to have a lot of nostalgia there. But anyways, that has a very unique CGI art style to it, which, yes, wasn't a huge fan of. It grew on me because I love the series so much, but they're using that same styling here with this series. So it's a very different style. I think they're getting better at it as they go along, but that is something to keep in mind going into it. But cool premise. Like the teasing girl series genre that is blossoming lately. Why do I keep saying blossoming? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Very Beauty and the Beast-ish.
Yeah, I can see that. I was kind of turned off by the artwork at first, and then I think it'll work just fine. So I'm curious about it. I do actually now that you've mentioned it, I do remember us talking about this at some point. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Well, that chick's crazy. Some crazy fire chick. There's like suddenly a ton of people. I thought he was supposed to be alone. There's like 15 people around him. I thought they were saying that he was alone and she's teasing him alone. Now there's like 15 people on the screen. Yeah, she looks cute too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. The Duke of Dead and his maid. Cool stuff. This one's kind of a oddity. I don't think we've ever actually talked about this one, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Of course, it is an original, so it kind of makes sense. Sonny Boy. Sonny Boy is a sci-fi survival series with a stacked 36 student cast of characters uprooted from their middle school lives. These students end up in another dimension and have to fight to survive. Studio is Madhouse. It is an original series. The genres are sci-fi superpowers. The Funimation will be streaming it, and director and writer is Shingo Natsume, who did Aka 13, Boogie Pop Phantom 2019, Horimiya, One Punch Man, and Space Dandy. So, really solid director there. But yeah, very different animation style. It kind of reminds me a lot of, and I'm gonna probably get some hate from this. A non-sloppy, what's the guy that does like Devilman Crybaby and stuff? It's a very non-sloppy version of that kind of art style. It looks very movie-ish, very kind of thin line, more mature and not moe-ish type of anime style, more adult looking. So yeah,
it's kind of odd because I've heard the name quite a few times. So I know it's one that has been talked about a few times. So, but he couldn't because it's original. So I must be thinking of something else. That's odd. It looks really,
we
really
probably
fantastic.
talked about it becoming an adaptation, or not an adaptation, but being done eventually. It probably was announced at some point. We probably talked about it, but yeah.
But yeah, it looks fantastic. It definitely does.
Do you think you're gonna watch it though?
Don't know.
I'm curious how violent it's gonna get. Is it gonna? It leaves a lot to be, and it's funny because I could probably look up more information on what the full synopsis, but I kind of don't want to. Its premise so far that we've gathered from this synopsis is that 36 students go to this other world and some kind of
battle royale.
Yeah, is it going to be a battle royale? Is it going to be them killing each other? Is it going to be they possibly have abilities to fight something bad? It completely is. I mean, based on the art style and very small snippets of characters looking at each other and talking, I'm going to assume they're going to have to fight each other. It doesn't show violence or anything, but I'm going to assume just based on the art style and everything, they're probably going to have to fight each other. Or they're possibly going to have tests that they have to overcome that might have them turn on each other. Again, I could probably look up another synopsis, but I almost think this is probably going to be as much as you should know, and you should go into it completely blind, which is fantastic because it's original. We don't know what's coming. So, Madhouse, fantastic studio, fantastic director and writer who's done a lot of, Space Dandy and Horimiya, Boogie Pop Phantom, Aka 13 was One Punch Man. Everything here points signs as something that could be really incredible and catch us off guard. And I love the fact that it's an original because of that. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's on my list. I hope it's not too violent for Chris, so you can check it out too. I hope for you too. I like that you can watch shows, Chris. I don't want them to be super hyper violent. I do want it to be super hyper violent. I want some of those shows. Anyways, again, that's Sonny Boy. Check that out if you're looking for possibly a series that a lot of people are going to be caught off guard by. Moving on, we have the Dungeon of Black Company, or Meikyo Black Company. This one is Kenji had it made, a swank apartment, a real estate empire, and enough cash to lounge around living the good life. After a freak magical accident, he washes up in another world. Another isekai. This is like the fifth one now. All but enslaved to a crooked corporation in a fantastical land where money is everything. There's only one way one way for an earthling to get ahead. Make your fortune by any means necessary. dragons, goblins, and occasional dubious potion won't stop Kenji's quest for the world's biggest bank account. The Black Company is open for business. Studio is Silverlink, another Silverlink show. I think it's like the third one this season. Sources of manga, genres are comedy and fantasy, and series composition is being done by Hitomi Muino again, which again did Snow White with Red Hair, Amanchu Flying Witch, Noragami, and Higurashi. So, yeah. I don't know. This one, I'm very mixed on this one. I don't know why. I'm very mixed on this one. I think it could be fantastic, the idea of how to make money in another world. Taking the isekai concept, like we've mentioned before, the whole brown couch style kind of concept is that idea that you've added isekai to the element and then you do something, okay, this one possibly building some kind of company that makes money. But we'll see.
I think it's actually a fantastic concept. I kind of, to me, it seems almost like the, what is that show? Rokugo, Combatants Will Be Dispatched, which is the guy who goes to the planet and then he he has to do stupid little bad things to get evil points. It almost seems kind of like that. But in this case, it's just do whatever you can to get money, and then and he's making a dungeon. I love the concept. It is really something that I think can be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see this one. Actually, I'm actually thinking about putting it on the list for me.
I like the Dragon Girls art style. Yep, the Dungeon of Black Company. Check that one out. Next one we have is a video game adaptation. Yay, everybody clap, clap, clap. Scarlet Nexus. This one is solar calendar year 2020. Grotesque organism called Others have begun eating people. To take down this new enemy, the Other suppression force is formed. Saved by the elite team as a child, psychokinetic Yuito withstands the training to enlist. On the other hand, prodigy Kasane has scouted for her abilities, but Kasane's dreams tell her strange things, dragging the two into an unavoidable fate. Streamed by Studio Sunrise. The source of Kin is a video game, and it will be streaming on Funimation. So, yeah, this is based on the video game that's, I think, releasing here soon, Scarlet Nexus. So it's basically just an anime to advertise, hey, go buy the game, basically. But that's not to say that it can't have a great story and it won't do something really cool. Just, again, you got to take that, video game aspect into account, which very often, 99.999% of the time, does not turn out to be that good. But I don't know. It's an action RPG that's has a really interesting art style and premise to it. So hopefully it has some substance in there to make it worth it. To sell a video game, gotta have a good story sometimes. So we'll see. But I'm not holding too much hope.
It seems like we bumped into this, or did I find it on a video game thing at some point? I don't know. Seems interesting.
Yeah, when they announced the game last year, they announced they were going to do an anime adaptation. So, this one seems weird. This one seems incredibly weird. Based on what little I looked at it when I was putting this together. So, yeah, Uramichi Oniisan. The story centers around a 31-year-old man named Uramichi Omota, who has two sides to his personality. He appears to be a young man in charge of physical exercise and an education program, Maman together. Although he has a fresh and upbeat demeanor on the show, he is actually a bit emotionally unstable. The story reveals the less than sunny parts of his life for young adults. Yeah. So it looks like he's like on a TV show and he's like super happy, and then like once the show ends, everybody's like super depressed or mean. Studio is Studio Blanc. The source is a manga. The genres are comedy and slice of life, and the director is Nobuyoshi Nagayama, who did Happy Sugar Life, Smile Down the Runway, and Are You Lost? Perfect director for this. Happy Sugar Life. Series composition is Toko Machida, who's pretty much done way too much stuff. So
I'm bordering very on the edge of not really wanting to watch this.
It's gonna be fun. What do you mean?
I don't know. I maybe hope that it's more funnier than it actually looks.
Kids are like so confused when he looks so bad. They're like, what? Why does the man look so depressed? It doesn't look like he's the only one either. It looks like everybody else are kind of like that. Like once the cameras turn off, they all turn into just bad people. I don't know. It has all the makings to be hilarious. So I'm possibly gonna be looking forward to this one. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the idea that if he's like super mean to the kids, it would be kind of like hard to enjoy it. But
well, I'm going off of
they wait until they turn around before they get really bad.
I'm going off of what it looks like, and it looks like maybe he's being mean to the kids, and I don't really care to see that, but it could be he's just saying depressing things, and the kids don't know what to take. So I guess it could be funny on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's being mean to him. I just think he's like super depressed. Or like, wait, where'd the happy guy go? What happened to the happy guy? Yeah, that's Uramichi Oniisan. Possibly be a solid comedy for the next season. Do we not get it's like 2 shows that we haven't gotten PVs for this season? Or did I just not write it or copy it down? Yeah, we have a PV for this one. Mother of the Goddess Dormitory, or Megami Ryo no Ryobokun. This one is Nagumi Kyoshi is a 12-year-old boy who was abandoned by his broke father after their house caught fire, leaving him to roam the streets penniless. Then one day, a girl named Minerva, who finds him lying on the sidewalk, takes him to the women's college dormitory, one known for housing troublesome residents, and asks him to be the dormitory mother, obviously. Surrounded by older women and forced to deal with their idiosyncrasies, Kyoshi starts his new, somewhat ecchi life.
And they're, of course, goddesses. I mean, obviously, you could catch that from the Minerva thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a Freya and a... Who else? Who else, Andrew?
Do you think this is going to be a censored one?
Probably.
This is totally
I'm
be
leaning towards totally censored.
They're showing way too much in the PV. This is for sure not going to be in the TV broadcast. This is going to be censored to all get.
I'm going to give you all a hint. Funimation, probably not going to want this one.
Yeah, Funimation, don't. Just see. That's what we should do. Every season, you should wait for us. I know that you probably license this stuff like freaking 4 months in advance, but you should probably wait for us to do this stuff and then, or do our.
Better yet, just send us ahead.
Preview.
Just send us the schedule ahead of time, and we'll go.
Just give us a list of names, and we'll do the research for you. We will Google search for the source material. We'll look for pictures that look pretty questionable, and we'll go here. You don't have to get this one. There, saved you all the effort, because I know that you guys don't want to do that and just look up, just Google search and image search for any kind of panels. You'll get an idea if you're gonna like it or not. But.
Because more than likely, the people who are crazy about it will probably put the most questionable content out for everybody to see ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be... I try to... See, that's the other thing. It's like, remember last season, we pretty much knew what every single show was going to be on what platforms. This season, it's quiet. It makes me wonder. Of course, I think a lot of that had to do... Well, no, Crunchyroll got a lot of stuff last season. Like pretty much half of it. So I don't know. It just seems like everything's kind of quiet on the streaming platforms.
I think that because everything is pretty much going back and forth between both platforms as it is anyway right now.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing Funimation stuff pop up on Crunchyroll now, and Crunchyroll stuff is popping up on Funimation. So I don't think there really is much of a block between the two anymore.
Yeah, I am super excited for this one.
Can't say that I'm not.
Yeah, looking for some solid ecchi. This looks like it's going to be the one, just based on the PV. Like I said, though, I kind of want High Dive to get it. And I don't want to subscribe to High Dive just for one show, but I kind of want a service that won't censor it, and I know this is going to be censored. Mother of the Goddess Dormitory. Check that one out if that sounds interesting to you. Cute character designs too. And hopefully, Azreed, are they known for keeping stuff? Because this is going to be one of those ones where you got to keep things on model and everything, and if you start getting sloppy, it's going to take away from it. You got to have good on-model characters with some ecchi. It's just kind of needed. Azreed is okay, if I remember correctly.
You like Shuffle?
I mean, yeah, the
Yusha did pretty good.
Yeah, Yusabu, they did good with the... I mean, it was off-model like crazy, especially towards the later part, and they got really bad with production, but that's because they started getting high, heavy action, whereas a comedy in a dormitory doesn't require too much crazy animation, so... Yeah, not a very high-caliber studio, so I hope... I hope they don't mess it up. So, yeah. Moving on. Battle in 5 seconds after meeting. Or Dete Fabio de Battle. This one, it was just a normal morning. Akira Shido Yanagi, a high schooler who loves games and Compieto.
I can hear all the yawns coming from that character.
Oh, Compieto, it's a candy. Okay. Has suddenly been dragged into the battlefield by a mysterious girl calling herself Mion. The participants are told that they are erased from the family register, involved in an experiment, and gain certain powers. Akira is determined to win the game with his newfound powers and destroy the organization. Pretty much anyways. Armed with the power no one expects and his brain skills, the new period of intelligence battles of intelligence battles of begin. Okay. Yeah, studio is Vega Entertainment and Synergy SP. The source is a manga, and the genres are action, drama, and supernatural. The series composition is being done by Toko Machida again, which has done way too much stuff. So, yeah. I'm getting Mirai Nikki vibes. Think? So, well, no, because the main character looks like he's actually smart and does things, which is different than Mirai Nikki guy.
Technically, he was smart. He just was whiny as well, so.
Yeah, I don't think he was that smart, but that's just me. I don't know. Another death battle. I'm going to destroy the organization that's doing the death battle thingy.
And lots of nyans. I don't even have to hear what she's saying, and I can guarantee you there's nyans all over the place in that one.
Yeah, it looks like what she looks like, the head lady. Looks like a cat girl. Nyan nyan. You'll battle each other, nyan.
Yeah. That character screams that every half word is nyan.
Mm-hmm. Well, she does have the whole cat meow thing going on. So meow thing. Oh, did I say meow? You can't say.
We're getting our feel. We're getting our feel of Kimono Mimi this year or this season.
Good. I'm all for it. All for it.
Andrew's gonna be sick of him by the end of this season.
Well, this is another situation where I'm not too trusting of the studios, so that's another kind of concern. I mean, Synergy SP is not really known for high caliber animation stuff. I mean, I don't remember Hayate Combat Butler being very high caliber, but I hadn't watched too much of it. And Vega Entertainment, don't remember that studio at all. That would be why. Doesn't look like they've really done much, and if anything they've done, it looks like it's pretty far back there. So I don't know. I don't think this is a lot of hope for it as a action show, which is what it looks like it's going to be. So that's a huge question mark that's going to be able to hold things together. But we'll see. Could be something that has a lot of budget and they pull it off. So yeah, battle in 5 seconds after meeting. Look forward to that if that sounds interesting to you. Yeah. Our next one. Another one that's kind of out of left field, it seems like. This one is Nighthead 2041. The story follows the Kirihara brothers, who from a young age were incarcerated in a secure scientific facility due to their supernatural powers. Having escaped after the barrier that was preventing them malfunctions, the story follows the Kuroki brothers, who are trying to chase the Kirihara brothers. The studio is Shirogumi, who pretty much only done revisions, which does make sense because of the CGI art style that they have with this one. It's a CGI cel-shaded look to it. The source is a 1992 TV drama, and the writer or the director for that TV drama will be doing the writing for this particular series. The genres are drama, mystery, psychological, sci-fi, supernatural. I'm pretty warm on this one. I mean, it's got a very kind of more dark and gritty look to it. Has that kind of almost kind of semi-futuristic anime art style, futuristic dark art style to it. So, thoughts? You never watched Revisions. I watched Revisions, and Revisions was solid. Not the most fantastic animation, but it was doing good for the CGI cel-shaded look to it. And the amount of detail and style they have with this one is pretty solid. And it does look like the characters are meshing pretty good with that, because typically they put too much detail into CGI and then have like, you know, very anime looking characters. It kind of bashes with each other. But this one is doing a pretty good job blending the two.
The best way for me to explain it, as far as how it looks to me, because it looks fine. The character artwork looks fine. I like the eyes. My biggest problem is it looks so stiff. That's my biggest beef with it.
That was an issue with Revisions too.
And I don't know how to explain it better than if you kind of glance at it. Yes, there's a scene here and there where the hair moves, but for the most part, it doesn't move. And that to me is the best way. It looks like a cardboard cutout just being, you know, moved around on the screen. That's the best way for me to explain why I don't particularly care for it. But that's a minor issue. Other than that, it looks fine. It looks good.
Yeah, technically with most anime, they don't move much either. So
yeah,
it technically matches the anime art style and the idea that, you know, characters typically don't move much anyways. So
I mean, my biggest scenes that I like the most are usually ones where it's hyper moved. Yeah. And that's why when we talk about the Sakuga thing every here and there, it's like I could see myself going down that road easily. I don't, because I don't have the time for it.
Well, that's like one example that came to my mind is Slow Start. It's a very simple, cute girls doing cute things show that shouldn't have really good animation, but what I noticed in that show was like, oh man, they're putting a lot of effort into making these characters look alive and moving around. Mushoku Tensei was a prime example. That show just had so much dang animation happening all the time. You're like, why are they putting so much effort into hair moving constantly and stuff?
Well, the Chika Chika dance. I mean, why do people get crazy over that? Because it's hyper animated. It looks amazing.
That was the only reason. It was a really catchy song, and the dance was fun. It took off because of the dance routine and the catchy song. Yeah, again, that was Nighthead 2041. Check that out if that sounds interesting to you. Opera Girl is the next one, or Kageki Shoujo. This is one of those ones that's like got like 3 translations, so it might not be Opera Girl, but I think I've heard people say that it was Opera Girl that was being translated to. Studio is Studio Pine Jam. These sources of manga, the genres are drama, school, and seinen. And the director will be Kazuhiro Yoneda, who did Yona the Dawn and Gleipnir. I totally skipped the synopsis. The synopsis is the Kageki Musical Drama Academy is a high school that teaches musical theater like that of the Takarazuka Review, and splits its actresses into those who play male and female roles. Ai Narata is a former idol who becomes a Musume Yaku, or female role, actress, and meets Sarasa Watanabe, a simple farm girl who is in the Otoko Yaku, or male role actress. So, yeah. Interesting. We were kind of... it was interesting because when Revue Starlight came out, it was really interesting to kind of for me anyways, really kind of dive into that concept of that theater play that they kind of created in Japan. And I had a lot of fun kind of studying into that stuff and really kind of getting a perspective of it while at the same time watching that show, which did crazy stuff with a draft. So to get a, hopefully, it doesn't have to be, but hopefully a kind of more normal take on that concept.
More serious take on it?
Yeah, and more dramatic and normal take on that will be interesting. Not that there was anything wrong with Revue Starlight, just, again, standard.
Revue Starlight added fantastical elements to it.
And drafts. And wakarimasus. Now, if you want to put the Seiyu in there, I'm perfectly fine with that, because it wasn't that Kenjiro Suda?
Yeah.
Was it?
It seems like it.
I want to say that was wakarimasu. Revue Starlight. I have to know now. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm getting sidetracked as you do. Looking at anything that as Kenjiro Suda, I have to know. It was boom. Called it. Yeah, if you want to put Kenjiro Suda in Opera Girl, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just make it like a teacher or something. That'll be fine.
A real principal.
Yeah, not a giraffe. So yeah, this one.
There's a guy back there, so it's not an all-girl school.
Honestly, I'm very mixed. Like I said, I'm interested in the revue style, that whole concept, the whole male and female roles being done by the females, the stage play stuff. If you actually show it, that girl is tall compared to her.
Yeah.
I can only imagine which one takes the male role. Probably the really tall one. Yeah, it looks like she has a cape and a sword, so I'm guessing it's male role. But I don't know. I'm not feeling the style at all. It looks very feminine, and I don't normally go for that particular styling of feminine and curly. So that might be my only sticking point. But again, if they pull off the actual story really well, I'm all for it. So, and apparently she dipped her hair in green paint. I know it's a style choice. I've seen it. I mean, Nisekoi had it, but man, it just sticks out really bad with her. I don't know why. Anyways, that's again, Opera Girl. Check that out if that sounds interesting to you. Here's another kind of interesting one that unfortunately we don't really have much information on, or a trailer. Let me double check before I get too far. I might have added a trailer later. But this one is, and I have zero clue on how they want this pronounced, so I'm just going to go with it. But yeah, it's C_city, CIDE. Tranmeri.
Or D-side.
It could be D-side, I guess. D-side, Tranmeri.
I don't even know how to pronounce that, so you're on your own on that one.
The story is set in Shibuya and centers on Ryohei. As a child, he looked up to his older brother, but watched him perish in a mysterious incident right before his eyes. Why is it mysterious if he's right before his eyes? Maybe what happened was... Okay, anyways. Sorry. Now a high schooler, Ryohei shows no outward signs of the trauma... sorry, the misspelling was in there messed me up. It says sings. The outward signs of the trauma of the nightmarish incident and spends most of his leisure time kickboxing. One day, while kickboxing, he encounters a creature that calls itself Triss and is bitten by it, resulting in him having a strange dream. This is being done by Studio Sanzigen. The trailer off the side of my head is going bonkers, so I'm not sure that I was expecting that, but we're going with it.
I'm assuming D side is the dream side.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it going by like side, like SIDE, and being CIDE. Maybe that's what threw me off. But yeah, this is the only thing that's kind of...
It's based on a game. Yeah, it's a multimedia project.
Yes, that's the big stinker. It's done by Sanzigen, which we've enjoyed Sanzigen's work before. I'm assuming they're going to go with the full CGI cel-shaded look with this one as well. Of course, they did the later seasons of the other Idol Girls show. I'm forgetting the name of it. I'm thinking Wake Up Girls, not Wake Up Girls. They also did Bubuki Bronki, which we enjoyed that particular one. We, again, acknowledged the faults of the CGI work, but I enjoyed the kind of take on the cell shade look. Bang Dream, the later season of Bang Dream. That's what I was trying to think of. So,
where they got into a van and went into the sky.
Was that one? But that wasn't the first season.
No, that was the second season.
No, it was the first. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it was Bang Dream.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was the first season or second season.
It was in the second season because the first season we loved the first season, and second season we went, what the heck happened here?
No, because I didn't even get past the first episode of the second season. It was definitely the first season. It had to have been the first season. Anyways, yeah, the big stinker is that it's a mixed media project being done by Bushiroad, Sumzap, and Drekcom, which already tells you there's 3 people that have their hand in the cookie jar at the same time, which is not a good thing. Too many chefs in the kitchen. Plus, you have it being basically probably the focus is to essentially advertise this mobile game that they're going to make on the side, because there is no continued profits from an anime. There is continued profits from mobile games, so it's going to basically say, come download this, which compromises it a little bit, but I'll still give it a shot. We're going to still give it a shot. I mean, it has an interesting styling to it, at least. So, we'll see. The writer is Hiroshi Onogi, who did series composition and script work for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, so that gives it some credit there. Also did Strangler Law, so it's a solid writer, hopefully. I'm trying to give it something, I'm sorry. Again, that's Decide Traumeri. See how that goes. And our last new series of the season is going to be The Record of Ragnarok, or Shumatsu no Valkyrie. And this is the one that's going to be releasing on Netflix on June 17th, I think in full, as Netflix usually does.
And that's the one where all the gods are fighting each other?
Yeah. So 7 million years of human civilization is coming to an end. Even thousands of years, all the gods of the heavens gather together and attend a conference of humankind. One of the gods said they want to let the mankind choose for themselves, so she proposed that blah, 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 blah. They come together and fight to prevent Ragnarok, something. It's a really long synopsis. That's why I'm trying to give the brief of it. Sorry, people. So, yeah.
And we talked about it last season, too.
Yeah. It says they're chickening out. They hit a nerve. They get enraged. They accept the proposal to do a battle. And now Brynhildr and her sisters must choose humankind's 13 champions in a desperate battle for survival. Will humankind surpass gods and prevent humanity's ultimate end? Yeah, okay. Sia is Graphinica. The source is a manga. Genres action, supernatural, drama, fantasy. Again, for release on June 17th, which technically, honestly, is literally in 2 days. I think this is technically a spring season show, but AniChart had it in their list, so I decided to cover it. So we'll probably list it as a spring show, though. Yeah. Interesting. All right, that's all the new shows. Let's dive into what is returning series that everybody should be excited for if you've been watching this series, and you can be happy for a returning. First one, of course, we have is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2. Andrew needs to finish the first season, or that's not the second season. This is part 2 of the second season. I'm sorry.
You gotta catch up bad. I thought you had already.
No, it kind of dropped off. I surprisingly, hearing other people's kind of in the same boat as me, where it's like you don't really have much drive to get back into it, which I don't know what that is, why that is. Of course, I did have my gripes about certain aspects of it kind of getting old, but I don't know. Nothing's really, I think every time I go to watch it, nothing really grabs me in it again, so it might end up just being a casualty, unfortunately, but we'll see. I do want to get back into it, but yeah, this is the second season, part 2 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Check that out, if you will. Super exciting. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is coming back with Dragon's Maid S. So not a short this time. This is actual new season. I feel bad because like I love the short series, but it's too short. I need a full show. So
yeah, by the time I'm getting into whatever they're doing, it's already over. It's like, shoot.
Yeah. Need a full show. That's what we're getting. So happy. Glad to see Kyoto Animation coming back. Miss them so much. Hope they do well. And look for that. My Next Life as a Villainess is coming back. All Routes Lead to Doom Season 2. We talked about this one getting announced like right after the show ended, so it was exciting to see that was getting a second season. But excited for that one as well. That one's really solid first season, so if you haven't watched that yet, definitely check it out. Standing on a Million Lives, second season. I don't know.
Mixed on this one.
I'm so mixed.
I like it, but at the same time, it's not one that I'm. Especially now that the arc or wherever they're going in the next section is curious. But it wasn't. The flavor's pretty much technically already gone. So what they're going into now is just curious.
Yeah, I'm just not liking where they're taking the main character. Because I never really liked him anyways. He doesn't make any sense. He hates the world because I hate the world. Because somebody dug up my tree. I don't know. I just don't understand him as a character at all. I do like the human struggle, the aspect of killing somebody and those kind of things that messes with your head and all that kind of concept. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Not the best animated series either, so... The Honor Student at Magic High School. There has got to be a massive following of this series in Japan. This thing's gotten like 4 seasons and now a spin-off season.
Yeah, I was going to say, this technically is a spin-off.
Yeah, this is based off of a spin-off manga that pretty much follows the girls, which is good. I'm for that.
I like the girls.
But
I know you don't much care for the sister, but I do.
That's the only problem. That's the only problem. I'm assuming that the sister is going to be the main focus for the entire thing, or at least the main target of visual. And I'm sure she's going to be saying, brother,
she's talking about her big brother all the time, and I could see that turning Andrew off so hard.
Yeah, that's my only. It's my only struggle with that's going to be with this.
Let's go see some puppies. What does Oni-chan think?
No, I'm sorry. I gotta go. Oni-chan's over there. I gotta go see Oni-chan. Yeah, what would Oni-chan do? That's literally her catchphrase. Higurashi's gonna come back. The Higurashi new with SOTSU. So again, this is kind of the other. Here's my struggle because with the next season, I do want to get back into this because I used the excuse that I want to watch the full thing, and they already announced they're gonna do 2 cores of this, so I put it off. And so this is kind of the one that I want to focus on versus getting caught up on slime, I think. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I do want to. But the problem with this one is I need to rewatch the original. I want to because they are technically tied in with each other. So I kind of want to refresh myself on the old season. And this is going to be a lot of time to go through all of that. But yeah, that's awesome. Magia Records second season. I almost don't want to watch this. After the mobile app closing, I really almost don't want to watch this. I'll probably still watch it because I do like the story. But, man, did that put a bad taste in my mouth.
I almost have to go back and catch up. And I it didn't seem like it had... Did I finish it?
No.
I don't remember at all now.
I don't know.
I think I did.
But yeah. It is doing an interesting take on it. It's kind of it's taking the whole aspect of being a group that actually ties in with the actual witches. There's the aspect of
I do think I
releasing,
I was caught up.
like becoming almost a witch, which is very interesting. So if you're a fan of Madoka Magica, it's a really cool, interesting take on the whole mechanics of that. Even though the app took all of our money and then closed. Idolish. I hate this. I'm being so negative on these right now. Idolish 7, third beat. So third season of Idolish 7. And this bothers me because I want Troika to go back to doing incredible stuff. And not to say that Idolish is bad. It's just it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, I miss Troika doing cool things like All Noah Zero and Recreators and stuff. And now they're just doing this one show. It's like it seems like they only do Idolish stuff now. So it must be making them a lot of money. There must be a huge fandom, and I'm happy for them to get more Idolish. I want. Anyways, I'm being selfish. Gitarobo is coming back with Gitarobo Arc, so fans of Gitarobo, be excited for that. I know about it, just nothing. I know of it, not about it. So there you go. Suki Pro the Animation second season is coming out as well. And Love Live Superstar, of course, is coming back. So another Love Live series following a new team of girls. So be excited for that, Love Live fans. I'm sure our friends over at Anime Arcade are super excited. Maybe they'll kick back up their podcast more often just to talk about Love Live Superstar every week. We'll see. Yeah. And then for our short series, we have Assault Lily Fruits, which is going to be a mini animation based on the Assault Lily franchise that was done by Shaft, and apparently they're going to be doing this as well. I did not finish that series, so I don't think I'll be checking it out. And then, of course, Yami Shibai is coming back for a 9th season. I thought they were done because they released like this huge Blu-ray pack from Sentai Filmworks, but apparently Yami Shibai said, "Oh, so you have a complete series of ours? Well, I guess we'll release another season just so it's not a complete series anymore." And I've kind of mentioned before, I really do kind of want to get back to rewatching. I think I watched 2 seasons of it, but I kind of want to watch all of it because
I got through 4 seasons, and I think that I have intended on going back ever since the 5th season. So
it looks like the key art is very specific to the Zodiacs. I wonder if it's going to have a Zodiac theme to it, or if it's just a key art for the sake of key art. Interesting though.
Because reasons.
Yeah. And of course, series that are continuing from the spring 2021 season is going to be My Hero Academia, which is going 25 episodes. To Your Attorney, which is going 20 episodes. Shaman King, which we can't see because Netflix, is going 52 episodes. Eden Zero is going 25 episodes. Again, we can't watch because of Netflix. And Welcome to Demon School Irakun is going 21 episodes. And Blue Reflection Ray will be going 24 episodes. So cool stuff there. And a nice friendly reminder, June 29th, we will be getting the final episode of Wonder Egg Priority. Technically, again, more of a spring thing, but I'm super excited to finally get the conclusion of that one. Obviously, because that's technically currently my anime of the year and possibly in my top 10 favorite anime of all time. Because it's that good. And for some reason, AniChart is not loading anything, so I can't check anything else. I should have written them down. I knew I should have wrote all this stuff down. Because AniChart has to decide to be broken. Not too many ONAs and stuff. They have the terrible freaking Biohazard movie. They do have 3 episodes of some type of... what the heck was that series called? Why can't I think of the English title of it? Ancient Magus' Bride. Yeah, apparently they're going to have an OAD of that one, so... Not too much, though. That's pretty much it. So yeah, what are you excited for this season, Chris? What are you super, super excited for? Since you didn't write down anything.
I definitely can't see that now.
Are you blind? I thought I was the one that wore glasses. Do you need to get glasses too?
No, you just got it down to like teeny tiny. Well, I've definitely... The 2 I've got on here is Hero Builds a Kingdom, and I've got Cheat Alchemist in another... Makes a Pharmacy in Another World. Jahy is probably going to go on my list. The Goddess Boarding Place... What was that one called?
The Goddess Boarding Place?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one.
Mother of the Goddess.
They're going to make him like totally feminine and dress him up all feminine.
Because they like to do that with the shows.
They're totally doing that with them, yeah. Like, was it Shonen Maid?
Yeah, he's kind of got that Shota vibe going on, so I can totally see him doing that. And I guess for my 5th...
You haven't wrote down the Duke of Death. I'm surprised by that.
I'm really, really hesitant on that one, mostly because it just is, but it's the CG thing, and that's probably always. It's not that I necessarily hate CG. I'm so...
You just hate on every CG show that we've talked about this episode. It's a stiff look, but like I said, you technically have to take into consideration that most shows are pretty stiff.
Well,
technically,
I mean,
there's Dogo Kobo and Kyoanani that somehow managed to pull it out of that and make it look more lively, but most shows are technically stiff.
It's really weird because I've always been kind of neutral on the whole CG thing. I've never really hated it, never really went nuts. I mean, Babuki Baranki was about as close to a show that I was like, yeah, I like this. But that was more because it had a different art style to it, and it kind of worked for that. But other than that, I've always been kind of, it doesn't seem to add anything or take away really per se to me. As far as the last one, I guess I'll just go with the Duke of Death.
You're going to really like it because it's a teasing show. It's a teasing girl genre. It's huge right now. It's the huge thing right now.
Yeah, I think that I think it'll work. Yeah.
I ended up, while we did this, wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows. Oof. Did I miss anything?
I'm scrapping for a show, and you still got over a one.
Because I'm not picky about stuff like you were this episode. I'm not sure why you got this picky attitude for some reason. I don't know. I think if any of those, obviously, I think probably Nighthead will drop off of there. But I don't know. I'm afraid of saying Mother of the Goddess Dormitory because I think the ecchi looks good in the PV, just because studio and obviously censorship, which I think is going to ruin it. I don't see it being picked up by somebody that's not going to get this uncensored version. I just think it's going to be one of those things where they probably only can get the censored version just because they want to sell Blu-rays, obviously. And there's an issue with them airing that unless it's like they have like a late night, like was it ATX or whatever that station is, like late night stuff where they show that adult stuff in Japan. Unless it's on that kind of airing, sometimes they don't allow it to come over here just because Japan will backward stream it back to their eyes, and then they don't sell Blu-rays. But
Death Company was the other one that was bordering on the edge of wanting to put that on my list as well. So,
I think I'm gonna go. Detective is already dead, just because again that's the one with the detective girl that died at the very beginning. I have my concerns. I'm very concerned. I don't think that I have so many concerns that I can't say that it will be my gem of the season, just because I think it can really easily drop into the okay, he's going to school and the detective girl is trying to push him back into doing stuff, or he gets roped into stuff because of what he used to do, and then it's going to be too focused on the school aspect. Aquatope, obviously, PA Works original. It's going to be fantastic. Cheap Pharma will probably be my cutesy show of the season, hopefully, just because of Neko Girl. The Duke of the Death, definitely, I think is going to be a pretty solid show despite the CGI, which, again, High Score Girl did the same thing, but I fell in love with it just based on the story and the characters. And then Sunny Boy, I think, is going to be I think Sunny Boy is going to be the sleeper hit, which technically probably not, just because they're starting to hype it up. Madhouse originals, most people are going to probably pay attention to it. But I'm totally thinking there's another one. What was the other one that I was talking pretty high on based on who was working on it? Maybe it was Sunny Boy. And like I said, I strongly believe that the sleeper drama of this season is going to be Deities and the Peaceful Generation, because you know Funimation's going to license it. No, I honestly, I think it's probably the drama of this season is probably going to end up being that Goddess Dormitory, because you know Funimation's going to license it.
I don't know. I think you're downplaying how much Jahy is going to probably blow up the internet.
Oh, for sure, it's already blown it up. Well, it is kind of concerning the fact that
people in their lolicon crap.
Well, there's two problems there. Yeah, the lolicon aspect, the fact that Funimation will probably license it and it will have edgy. Just to put myself out there, since I couldn't find a PV while I was looking for a PV, I looked at the manga and it doesn't look ecchi unless I'm just missing the ecchi parts. It really just seems like they call it ecchi because when she's in her adult form, she's pretty busty, and she just has like that kind of little strapped outfit to her. So I don't know if it gets more ecchi and I'm just missing it, but I don't really understand the ecchi title, so I don't know that it's going to be ecchi that much. But maybe they just call it ecchi because she's kind of small and she wears just a shirt based on the key art.
I've never really seen anything particularly, but at the same time, I haven't actually looked into it. I just know that she's a very, very favorite character for a lot of people. So, like I said, I've seen a lot of images of her. So,
yeah, it's the aspect that she's technically legal. she's
a legal
300.
lolly.
Yeah, she's the 300-year-old lolly vampire kind of concept. I will say though, granted, I did put together 6 total. Like I said, Detective Ari Dead, Aquatope, Cheat Pharma, the Duke of the Death, Sonny Boy, and I also had Nighthead on there, which I think will possibly be a pretty solid series. But, I mean, besides that, I'm not super excited for anything else, honestly. Besides the Goddess one, I think that's going to be a solid if it's not overly censored. The Restart one, Remake Our Life, could possibly be really solid too. So I'm technically looking forward to that one as well. And then, other than that, it's really just the returning shows. Obviously, when we do our top 5 list, by the way, I didn't mention this. We don't put returning shows because that would just fill our list. Because it would be Miss Kobayashi, Dragon Maid, Slime, and Next Life Villainous would easily be on there. But I don't know. It seems like a not as super exciting season as most times. Maybe it's just my mental state right now. Maybe I'm just downplaying it. But
no, there is some that I'm very curious about. But when it comes down to it, my thoughts were immediately going to, this might be a good chance to finish up Fairy Tail.
Yeah, like for me personally, the only ones that are like, holy crap, I cannot wait for this. I hope this airs right now so I can watch it, is probably Sonny Boy and Aquatope. That's the only ones that are like, holy crap, I have to watch this now. And usually with these previews, we have a lot of shows like, holy crap, I want to watch this now.
Yeah, we're usually fighting to take stuff off of our list, not necessarily, like I just said a little bit ago, me fighting to put stuff on my list. It's usually the opposite. So I'm not saying that these aren't going to change when we actually get into it, because this is based on PVs and synopsises alone. And so that only take that into consideration as far as when the season starts, everything can change. And plus they might have 24 more new shows that they decide to drop in the next 2 weeks. So
no, they're all holding all their cards for fall. But no, with that said, we will be checking out every single one of these shows. Not to be negative. It's not a negative thing. It's not that I don't like these shows. All these shows have potential to be awesome. It's just like I'm saying, they're not shows that are making me going, holy crap, I want to watch this right now. Which is, sometimes doesn't really happen. So, except for Sonny Boy and Aquatope, like I said. Those two are definitely up there for me right now. I don't know that I can, if I could call Sonny Boy the hidden gem, just because, like I said, it is technically a big studio. But again, being what it is, there isn't much talk about it because people don't know anything about it. But I think that's easily going to be the big gem of the season, no doubt. Everything else just seems pretty normal. I mean, I would like Opera Girl to end up being the hidden gem. I do want that. Like I said, I do like the review concept. But nothing's really jumping out, especially art style is not jumping out at me at all. So it makes it difficult for me. I want the Duke of Death to be really awesome. Honestly. Like I said, because I love High Score Girl so much. But other than that, like I said, Jahy for obvious reason. Cute lolly. And like I said, Detective Dead, I want to be good, but I just, there's something about it that's really making me pause. But we'll see. Anything else that you want to make comments on?
Oh, Hero Builds a Kingdom is obviously the hidden gem of the season. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't think any isekai could be hidden gem season except for when Jobless Hero came out, or Jobless Reincarnation came out. That's the only isekai that has ever been a gem.
Just wait. You're going to be eating your crow at the end of this season. You're going to be like, Chris, you were right. Hero Builds a Kingdom was the awesomest show of the entire, all time, the best anime ever.
But I mean, technically, like we said before, we can technically be excited for this next season by 3 returning shows alone. That's Reincarnated as a Slime, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and My Next Life is Villainous. Like those are easily going to be like satisfying enough there. So
yeah,
that is the the obvious icing on the cake is that we do get those returning shows. And for those that loved it, you know, I'm staying on A Million Lives and the fans of Magic High School. But I did ask people what they were excited for on Twitter, so it'd be really mean if I didn't at least give them a shout out on here. I didn't really intend for that, but might as well. Let's see. Adrian M301 says the regular Magic High School spinoff has my curiosity. So there you go. There's a fan of that. I'm curious if you're okay with the Oniisan thing. Let's see here. Keviboo0770 said Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2, Dragon Maid 2, Wonder Egg Priority Finale. Yes, thank you. It's technically not really next season, but I'll give it both seasons. That's fine. That way, at least when we do our deliberations, I can say that was the best in winter, spring, and fall, and summer.
There you go.
Awesome. My Next Life is a Villainous Season 2, Kanojo Mo Kanojo, Aquatope of White Sand, Madoka Magica Side Story 2, and also etc. etc. I did not see etc. 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 as a show. Did I miss that in any chart? But yeah, lots of sequels. Let's see. Lots of comments about Wonder Egg Priority. Hector says excited for the returning shows. Sakumbi says Wonder Egg Priority. My Next Life is a Villainous Season 2. Aquatope. Kanojo Mo Kanojo. Also mentioned the fact that there's a lot of good seiyus. Detective is Already Dead. Remake of Our Life. Jahy, you lolicon. Then not Slime, like it will. I watch it, but I don't get excited for it anymore. It's just a comfort show. So there's another comment about Slime. Let's see. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it right now. So yeah, cool stuff. Hope you guys are excited for summer 2021 anime season. Again, as usual, we will cover it all. We will be covering the music. We'll be doing our first impressions. We'll be doing reviews on all the shows. Definitely hope you guys enjoy our last season's coverage, and hopefully look forward to our next season coverage. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We still haven't done reviews for the last season, so we still need to do that first. But I hope you guys enjoys our summer preview. As always, we thank you guys for your support. And as always, you guys can check us out at takuspirit.com. Find all of our social media links and everything linked out there, including our YouTube channel where we have this posted, as well as our podcast links in case you're watching this on YouTube and you want to know where our podcast is. Those are there too. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and y'all take care.
Os.